The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. I'm Shannon Penrod. We're coming to you live from my house. Like so many other shows, we're observing the distance and the proper distance so that everybody can stay safe and that we can flatten this curve, right? Woo, flatten the curve. Hey, speaking of which, I got to do a big shout out to Boris Johnson and hope that he's okay and that he has a speedy recovery. We started about a month ago when we were still back in the studio. I was saying that in the morning, before I put my makeup on, that I literally could be mistaken for Boris Johnson. We have similar hair and we're of a similar age and of a similar body build. Yes, the joke is on me. But so, we in our house, we've been referring to him as my body double, which we know it's really the opposite. But in all seriousness, we hope that he has a speedy recovery, right? This is no time for joking around. And yet, whenever we can, we've got to find a laugh, but not at the expense of somebody who is not well. So our best to the Prime Minister of England, and we hope that he has a speedy recovery. So I am Shannon Penrod, and I am here in my living room and enjoying having a chance to be with you. We've got a great show for you today. Two incredible people, two of my favorite people on the face of the planet are going to be joining me in just a minute. From the Ed Asner Family Center. So that's a very exciting thing. Ed won't be here. Matt will be here, but they're coming, I think they're going to be at the actual center. I don't know, maybe they're going to be at home. And Navah-Paskowitz-Asner is going to be here too. So that will be super wonderful. I remember back before they were even dating, and they have been married for I think a few years here now. We'll have to ask them. And we all still get a little bit of diabetes when we're around them because they are two very happily married people. We should spend as much time as we can around people like that, right? So we're going to spend some time with them today, quality time. But before we do that, we want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, that this show is meant to be interactive. We want to hear from you. We want to know your thoughts, your feelings, your questions, your concerns. This is a place where you can get it all out, right? So Traven is going to show you some of the ways that you can connect with us. And, there are some that are live and some that are more Memorex, the recorded version. So while he gets that ready to show you, I want to remind you that you can always find us at autism-live.com. We live stream from there. He's going to show you the graphic. I don't know why it always gives me a little black box in the middle and then Traven has to click it away. But so you can find us at autism-live.com, but you can also find us live on Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube. I have no idea why my computer just made that noise. And then recorded as a podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Deezer, ladies and gentlemen, because I know that a lot of you are now on Deezer. I don't know that. I'm making that up. We've been on Deezer for a while. Still don't know what it is. I got to go check out Deezer. I'm told it's great, but I don't know. Is that like that Instagram thing that all the kids are on? Just put me out to pasture. Fit me with a drool bag and put me out to pasture. Hey, you want to see the magic trick I'm currently working on? I don't look in the mirror hardly ever, but with Zoom, you're sort of forced to see yourself all the time. And I'm like, I was saying to Traven earlier, look how one of my eyebrows arches over my glasses and the other one doesn't. It's like this, I got the lazy eye thing here. But if I poke it up for a minute, it stays there and then we can watch it fall. How desperate are we for something to do? This is the mood I'm in. Welcome to my world. Hi, Michelle. We're so thrilled to have you guys here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So look, at the beginning of the show, we like to remind you that we have lots of experts on the show, but I'm not one of them, obviously. Who else do you know who's poking their eyebrow up? That's an expert. No one would do that. It's craziness. Yeah, I'm a little giddy this morning. I don't know. It's because Matt and Navah are going to be on. That's why I'm in such a good mood. And despite the fact that I've been hacking away at my hair, which we will talk about with Navah, I think it looks presentable. At least I look like a crazy person, let's face it. We like to remind you we have lots of experts on the show. I'm not one of them. I'm a mom. I'm a former teacher. And I'm part of that larger autism community. You know, we're always talking about the fact that here we try to serve that larger autism community, which first starts with individuals on the spectrum. Oh my gosh, of course, right? But we also want to include everybody who loves them. And I'm in that category. I love a lot of someone's on the spectrum, as a matter of fact. So it includes parents, teachers, practitioners, grandparents, you know, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, you name it. That's our larger autism community. And that's who we're here to serve all together, so that we make sure that individuals on the spectrum get what they need, get the support and the respect and the dignity and the jobs that they need and deserve. So, but don't confuse me for an expert. I'm just somebody who cares deeply and wants to help you to not feel alone in this. That's really bottom line, right? And if I can help you with a resource too, or to a way of thinking that helps you to negotiate whatever you have to negotiate today, then I feel better about everything. That I want to be of service to you. So write in, tell us what you need, tell us topics that you would like us to cover later in the show, because we're going to be here. As long as the internet holds out, we'll be here, right? Okay, so the other thing that whenever we have an opportunity on our shows, we like to start off with something we fondly refer to as the jargon of the day. This is when we take on one word, one phrase, one acronym. We try to figure out what in the hey nani nani are the experts talking about. That's so much work, Traven, to do to get that little clip. But we love that clip. It makes it seem like jargon is something fun and in the forest with fairy dust, right? And in fact, it isn't. It's something that just ticks us off usually. But the truth of the matter is that if we make friends with these terms and start to know what they mean, just, you know, like walking in the shallow end of the pool, not having to study and take a whole class and get a degree in, but, you know, little bit by little bit, then we find that they help us. So I had sort of promised yesterday when we did mastery that generalization is going to follow up next, right? So generalization, again, one of those words that everybody goes, oh, I know what a generalization is, right? But this is a different word, different context when we're talking about autism and ABA. So let's take a look at our actual definition and see what the actual definition of generalization is. And let's see if we can make fun of it. Generalization, the occurrence of relevant behavior under different non-training conditions, for example, across subject settings, people, behaviors, and or time, without the scheduling of the same events in those conditions. Now, you've got it, right? Because this explains, this is as clear as mud, isn't it, my friends? Thank goodness we have books that define things in this way, because now we are all experts in generalization. This is not going to work for any of us, right? So let's move on to our working definition of generalization. And no, I don't drink ever, so this is not. But I enjoy making fun of the jargon. Generalization, our working definition is being able to apply what has been learned in new ways or situations that were never taught. So think about all the things in life that you want to teach, right? I'm a former teacher, and I think about, you know, things that I taught my students and things as a parent that I teach my son. And we want to teach them everything, right? We want to give them the world. We want to make them go out into the world and be able to handle something no matter what it is, no matter what time of the day it is, no matter who's talking to them, whatever the skill is, right? So that's generalization. If I teach you how to say hello to somebody, think of all the circumstances in your life when you are in a place where you have to say hello, right? And all the different ways that you might say hello. My goodness, if you're meeting the Queen of England, you're going to say hello in a different way than if you're seeing your friend on the street, right? But we want you to be able to handle all of those situations and be able to appropriately discern what is the right way to say hello and greet someone in that circumstance. Now, I can't possibly, as a teacher, teach anyone all of the ways in which you're going to have to say hello, right? So I have to start to teach you in a way and hope that at some point you get it enough that you start applying it to circumstances that you've never been taught it before. That is generalization. And the example that I always love to use, because we all understand this, is when you teach somebody how to drive. And I remember when my mom taught me how to drive, and it's very fresh in my memory right now because I'm teaching someone else how to drive as of right now. My mom taught me in the living room first, and she put cans of vegetables on the floor and handed me an embroidery hoop, and we practiced in the living room first. And she would come up with all these different scenarios, and it was hilarious, right? And then we went and we tried it in a parking lot. And then we tried it on a deserted road. And then we were on like a country road. And then we were in our neighborhood. And then, she worked me up to a highway, but my mother couldn't prepare me for what was to come, which was me driving on a highway in New York City, or me driving across country and being in places that I'd never been before. But she was trying to give me enough things so that I would learn the rules of the road and could apply them wherever I was. That's generalization. And here's the key to generalization and teaching anybody anything. Before you start, you have to plan for generalization. Just like yesterday we talked about, before you start teaching, you say, what's the mastery criteria? When will we know that they've gotten it? Well, you plan for generalization and you teach so that they can generalize. So another example where this is crucial is when you're potty training someone. Some people make the mistake of only potty training their child in one potty at their home. And then we get kiddos who, they're at Target and they can't go to the bathroom because it's not like at home. They can only go to the bathroom in that toilet. Well, they're toilet trained and they've mastered it, but they have not generalized it. Does it make a little bit of sense? We want you to be able to go to the bathroom in any bathroom you go into the rest of your life. That's generalization. You've got the skill, you can do it, but it's not generalized to all the places that you have to do it. So generalization is key. And the hallmark of a good ABA provider is somebody who, you say to them, they say, all right, next we're going to teach your child how to do this. Great. What's your plan for generalization? And they go, well, it's, and there's no hesitation, right? If you ask your ABA provider, what is your plan for generalization for a new skill? And they go, well, let me look that up. If it's anybody other than the very basic behavioral therapist, if it's your BCBA, bad ABA provider, go to another one because they should know this. This is quality ABA 101. So generalization, it's that thing when your kid does it and you go, woo, they got it. They were able to do it in this place that they've never done it before and nobody was there prompting them. My child has it. It's the things you celebrate. Generalization, it's a good thing. Okay, moving on, because we got guests. I want to keep on moving. We always have a question of the day for you. And we hope that you guys will write in on Facebook or Twitter or Periscope or YouTube or whatever you like and answer the question of the day. It is, what is your favorite leisure activity? I'm going to guess that you've been engaged in this behavior in the last couple of days. And I want to know or maybe you haven't been able to do it because of the isolation, which would be stressful for you. But it's important to know, what's your favorite leisure activity? Is it something that's available to you now? And if it isn't, what can you do? What's like the second favorite, or is there something that can fill the need? And if it is your favorite thing, do you find you're getting a little bit bored of it? In ABA parlance, they call that satiation. I love to watch me some Hallmark Christmas movies and some Hallmark movies in general. Love me some Hallmark movies. But I think I've seen enough for today. You know what I mean? I'm satiated. Doesn't mean I'm not going to like them again come Friday. I will be ready for a Christmas movie on Friday, but it's Tuesday and I spent a lot of time on Saturday watching Hallmark. I am satiated. What's your favorite leisure activity to do? I love, my favorite is to be with my kid. And when he's in the mood to talk to me, whoo, nothing better, right? I got to catch him in the mood. He can absolutely hold down a conversation with me. And I'm so excited. We work so hard for that. He can do it. He just doesn't always feel like it, right? And I hate to push when he doesn't feel, but last night he was in the mood. He was chatty Cathy. And that's probably why I'm in such a good mood this morning. So, and I loved last night. We got to take the blessings where they come in this COVID thing, right? And we had such a good time last night talking with him, and he's just so hilarious. I just love him to pieces. And I went upstairs at night to go to bed, and I said to him, I said, hey, I had the best time with you tonight. Thank you so much. And you know what he said? He said, thank you for saying that, Mom. And it reminded me that we got to be speaking these things, right? We got to be speaking them. It's important to tell our kids, show them how much we care about them, and to tell them how much we enjoy being with them. It's meaningful. Okay, moving on. We always have a topic of the week, and our topic this week, I can't even remember it. We unveiled it yesterday, and it's like I'm there for the first time. Oh, what are you passionate about? Oh, it makes total sense because we have Matt and Navah joining us, and they're very passionate, and we're going to let them tell us what exactly they're passionate about. You know what I think I love the most about the autism community is that I don't think I've met a single person in the autism community, either on the spectrum or somebody who cares about them, who isn't passionate about a bunch of things. We're a passionate group of people. And anytime that I venture out into the world and I'm not in an autism community event, I find that I run into people who aren't passionate about things. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. And I do think that that's one of our strengths in the autism community, is that we are passionate about stuff. And what a great way to be. I prefer to be with people who are passionate. And we'll talk more about that. But we are today on the show. I think they're already with us. So let's welcome them in here. Instead of talking about them, let's talk to them. Matt Asner and Navah-Paskowitz-Asner from the Ed Asner Family Center. In fact, it slipped a little bit, but I'm wearing my Ed Asner Family Center pin. Are they there with us? They might be getting hooked up. So let me wax poetic about them a little bit. I first met Matt probably 10 years ago, and he was a very outspoken leader in the autism community, and working at the time for one autism charity. And he had a radio show about autism at a time that I had a radio show about autism and was just starting this show. And I was so impressed with Matt. You know what? I heard him, I think it was on Larry Mantle on NPR, talking and being interviewed. And I thought, man, what an articulate dad, and how great it is to hear from the dads. And just, he's a leader. He was a leader. He is a leader, and somebody who's compassionate and passionate about our kids. So I was so impressed with him. And he came and started being a regular on the show. And then I just, something was different one day with him on the show. And I said, what's up with you? What's going on with you? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, something's going on here. What is this? You seem happy. What is going on here? And he was like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. And apparently it was just the beginnings of him falling in love with his wonderful wife, Navah-Paskowitz-Asner. And the first time I met her, oh my gosh, I met her and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this fabulous powerhouse of a mom? She's an earth mother. She just you would never want to get into a ring to fight with her when it's about her kids. Oh my goodness. She's about as fearless as anybody I've ever met. And so together, to see these two fabulous people get together and fall in love with all the sparklies, and especially because, it wasn't the first go round for either one of them. Matt had 2 kids, and one of them on the spectrum, and Navah had 4 kids, 2 of them on the spectrum. And when they got together, we all said, oh my gosh, it's the Brady Bunch of autism. They've gotten together, and together, they make this incredible family that is so cohesive and adds so much. And I know most of them now. There's a couple of the kids that I'm not as familiar with, although my son knows all of them better than I do now and loves them. So so it was great to see this couple get together, and then to find out that they had together this passionate dream to create a place, where families could go, and not just people on the spectrum, but families with all kinds of special needs situations, and that they could go and have the kids be enriched, to find art classes and dance classes and things that, you know, I believe are the great joys of all of our lives, the arts, right? But to not leave the parents out of it. That I remember in the earliest stages when Navah was talking about this, and she was like, you know, when the parents, we don't want them to just drop their kids off and go and sit in a parking lot and wait. We want them to come in. We want to treat their whole soul. We want to make sure that they have a place to meditate, to understand what that is, to get mental health services if they need it. And I remember thinking, man, that's crazy smart. And hoping that it was something that they could pull off. Well, they have. I'm just checking to see. Matt saying, just checking, 1040, right? I'm going to tell him no now, Matt. That might be a problem on our end. But I'm going to tell him, I'm talking about you live right now. I'm introing you live right now. And then he'll watch this later and think that's funny, or not. But anyway, so they're a remarkable couple, and they've opened this place. And let me just tell you, it is, I've heard people talk about going to a place and feeling like they've come home. People who go to Sedona, I've heard people say that about going to Utah, that there's a magnetic energy, there's something where they feel at home, that they feel a sense of peace that they don't feel anyplace else. I'm going to tell you, that is what I feel at the Ed Asner Family Center. I feel like when I walk through the door that not only I am at home and my husband is at home, but my kid is at home, and he is accepted and revered and loved. And I have always longed. I remember we used to go to the park every Saturday night. Our community would hold this big outdoor concert, and we would go to the park, and I would see all these adults sitting around in lawn chairs and talking and conversing, and their kids were off someplace else, playing, you know, conversing, doing whatever. And I would look at them and go, what must that feel like? I don't know. And I remember crying once to my husband and saying, I don't know that we'll ever get to a place where I'll just be able to go, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine, and let him be where he's going to be. And, you know, we have gotten there in a lot of ways in our life with our son, and I'm very grateful for that. But there is no place where I feel more that than at the Ed Asner Family Center. We walk in and my son goes off because to him, it is home. It is safe, and it's a big, huge complex, and there's a lot. I've had to go looking for him before because it's time to go and can't find him because he's in this room, that room, or the other. But I know he's okay wherever he is. And if you know me, you know that is like the highest compliment that I can give, is that I feel that level of comfort. And it starts with Matt and Navah, because they run it like it is an extension of their home and their family, and everybody is treated that way. And it's the kind of place where you walk in the door, and if you need something, if you're in tears, people will rush up and say, what can we do? It is also the kind of place where you will not be left standing at the corner with nothing to do. Somebody will say, hey, can you help us in the kitchen? And then suddenly you have a job and your hands are in it. There they are. It's Matt and Navah. I apologize. I don't know how we crossed wires, but I've been sitting here talking about spreading love about you people for a couple of minutes. Can they hear us? I don't think they can hear us yet. I'm going to continue to spread love on them while Traven helps them to figure it out. Maybe I should call Matt. We'll let them figure it out for a second and see if they can. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And we can hear you now too. I was just saying, I've been saying spreading love about you for the last few minutes. Well, I don't know how we got our wires crossed, but
we got 10:40.
Yes.
So
Sorry.
Oh, no. That's probably us. But hey, you're here and hopefully you have something to sip on. You guys both look great for having been in isolation for this long.
it's the quarantine tan.
Is that what we're calling it?
That's the quarantine tan, right?
I don't know about that.
So wasn't sure if you were going to be joining.
You're wearing
What's that?
You're wearing an Ed Asner Family Center pin.
I am. I'm wearing my pin. I always think to do that when you guys are on, but usually I'm already at the office and I'm like, dang it, I don't have my pin, but you see I'm home. So I thought about it and I was like, oh, I'm going to run upstairs and get it.
I'm proud of you.
Your hair looks great. I thought you said you shaved the, no.
Look, I've shaved all this and I keep shaving the back. Jem will tell you, anytime somebody asks about my hair, he goes, yeah, it looks okay from the front for the moment. But if you look at the back, you can see where it's gone off the rails.
Brutal honesty of children.
Yes, the brutal honesty. Okay, so I've been telling them all about how you guys are amazing and how you started this amazing center where we all feel like home. But where I want you guys to pick up is that, I think you guys had reached this apex in February where you guys were having these events and they were the most amazing. We are still talking about the Valentine's Day dance and how amazing it was for everybody. Like, we're all like, oh, we miss it. And then this happens. And a lot of people would have been like, well, we'll see you in a couple of months, but not you guys. You have been busy. Tell us what's going on at the center now.
Well,
I don't think we had a choice. I don't think, I mean, people spoke and I think we listened. I think as much as we are here doing exactly the same thing as all of you guys with special needs kids, the parents were saying, don't abandon us, don't leave us hanging, and especially the kids who are coming are, on a regular basis, for them to just stop everything and unplug their social connection, it could be detrimental. And behaviors going up the wazoo. I mean, we are having those same issues in our house. We're having behaviors. Eddie was having tantrums like he hasn't had since he was a little kid. And now he's 180 pounds having tantrums. And for the first couple weeks, he said that I created the coronavirus.
It was all Navah's fault.
And he was telling me, Mom, why did you create the coronavirus? I just want to go to the bowling alley. Why did you do this?
Oh, bless his heart.
And that's the thing. This is hard for everyone. It's hard for everyone. I mean, I'm having a hard time with this. I don't know about you, Shannon, but I'm having a hard time. And so Navah and I would wake up every day and we'd say how every day it's like this is just 2 weeks ago really when we started doing this.
It's been months. It's been years.
It feels like it's been a year. But we looked at each other and we said, how can we make a difference? How can we make a difference from home? How can we make a difference, doing that for something from home? So we started looking into everything and we really, wanted to virtualize the center. And so we've done that. We still have a ways to go. And, this is a learning process for us just as much as anyone else. But I think we've done a good job at kind of presenting what we do virtually. We have incredible content coming from all of our instructors, people who handle classes. I don't know if you've seen the Music with Judy class yet.
I have not seen it, but I've heard stories about how amazing it is.
Well, we got a video the other day sent to us from a woman in Middletown, Pennsylvania.
I saw that.
I mean, to me, that was an incredible moment for me. I looked at it and I just thought, well, okay, all right, this is good. This is something good is happening out of this.
And for people who haven't seen the video, tell them what this mom sent you.
Well, she sent us a video of her son, Xander. His name is Xander. He's in first grade in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Her son, Xander, just really enjoying this this video of Judy Langdon, who's our music therapist, doing her show. And so for some of our instructors, we are doing straight, like almost like a television show. For other instructors, they feel more comfortable with a Zoom kind of thing. So we're doing that. And it's interesting to see what works for each one, because there's some, I think there's some, like Alan Bruni is our drum circle guy.
Drum.
And he's such a magnetic personality that we thought, and drums, we thought, let's not have it as a Zoom, but that would be crazy, having a drum circle on Zoom. That would be nuts. Having a Zoom anyway is nuts, but
right.
having a drum circle would be really nuts.
Chaotic.
So he has such a great personality that we thought, let's have him kind of do, 15 minutes for people to just kind of have fun in the living room with him. And then the same thing happened with Judy Langdon. And we have a new nickname for Judy Langdon. It's Miss Rogers. That's Navah. Navah came up with that. That's all Navah.
Judy has a brother who has autism, and she has been working with us for a long time. And she really is, she has this magic touch, and she has specifically worked with a lot of nonverbal kids and absolutely blown me away in their progress with her. And she's our new camp director.
I heard that, which is awesome.
God willing, I don't even like to think ahead,
right?
But Judy really, she's very interactive with the kids, even though it is a show. She makes it really something that you can follow her, and it's very easy. It's very upbeat. And then we have our special needs physical fitness instructor, Liz Corral, who does an amazing, really easy to follow physical fitness program. And I think her next live show is on Thursday. And she's been working with our kids since last year. She really tailors the show for her group. So Zoe really wasn't into it. And she brought her in with the idea that they were zombie hunters and they were gonna catch zombies. So they're doing a lot of, very wonderful physical fitness techniques, but they're doing it with role play. And
that would have been the way to get me to work out when I was a kid.
Right.
But it wouldn't have been.
That's the way to get me to work out now. Who are we kidding?
It wouldn't have been zombies. It would have been like Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, hey, you're Skywalker and you're,
but
going against the Imperial stormtroopers.
I think the exciting thing, though, is that these kids are now having something to look forward to, because the hardest thing is, as parents, having to entertain. We're having to be teachers. We're having to be entertainers, and it's actually, I think, harder in a smaller group when parents are calling me saying, "Look, I'm trying to keep the balls in the air 24 hours a day, and it's the pressure on the parents is getting more." So one of the things that we did was, you've met Chelsea Darnell, who's our social director, like in the Love Boat, and
she is amazing.
And so Chelsea didn't want to give up the connection that she'd created with her teens and adults, so she's doing a movie chat. So they watch a movie, and then every Saturday night they get together, really fun social group.
And everyone can join that, by the way. Yeah. I join it, and everyone can join it.
It's for the 18 and over social club, but we've had, parents, and we've had siblings, and they discuss the movie that they've all watched, and then they discuss which movie they should pick for next week. And the first couple have been really successful, and I think they're watching Ferris Bueller this week, right?
Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, wonderful. I know last week you guys did Groundhog Day, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically what we're living now.
Exactly. I was going to say it's very apropos. So, okay, before we get too far away from this, where can people find the schedule, and how do they sign up? What do they have to do? How do they register? Is there a cost? How does this all work?
Well, first of all, everything we're doing right now, until we get through all this, is completely free.
Amazing.
The only thing that they can that actually will cost a little money is we haven't talked about this. We should talk about this. We have one of the situations that we were very worried about was a lot of our therapy patients that come in for therapy, the counseling sessions. And it's like, what do you do? What happens when this kind of unprecedented thing happens? So we
because you need it more, not less.
Yes,
of course,
exactly.
of course. And we wanted to figure out how to do that, and so we quickly did it. And we're accepting telehealth patients now. And it's interesting because I'd never known anyone who'd done that. And actually, our son Will ended up doing not with us, but with someone else, a telehealth session, and it really worked well for him. I thought it worked well
I've
for him.
done it many times.
So really?
Yeah, because if you're using a healer in another state or whatever, you Skype in.
Yeah.
That's a big business with Skype.
But it, so.
But it's not a big business with us.
No.
Because of
It's
the
not.
situation. We've had a lot of patients and parents reach out to us and say, like you say, my anxiety level has quadrupled. All of ours has, insomnia. It's very hard to sleep at night because that's when you let yourself kind of, allow yourself to spin a little bit. But we're taking families as they come, and we're not turning anybody away based on I can't afford my regular telehealth payment.
Okay, so for the therapies, the telehealth, there is a charge for that, but what people can afford or sliding scale or something, and then for all the things for kids, free.
Everything enrichment for free.
Amazing.
And that's something that we really wanted to to give to the community, because it's just we're all in this together, and we gotta help ourselves get out of this. This is uncharted territory, and we all have to be together on this.
Yeah. Well, our question of the day today is, or the topic for the week is, what are you passionate about? And I said before we had you guys join us that you are two passionate people. And one of the things that I've seen is that in this emergency, passionate people have not said, okay, well, I'm just going to go home and sit on the couch and watch Netflix. Don't get us wrong. We're doing that too in downtime, right?
We're doing everything on Netflix, I think.
Right. But passionate people have said, okay, how can we do what we were doing in a bigger way? How can we do it online? How can we get to more people? And I'm so proud of the two of you, because we've always said that the Ed Asner Family Center had to be something that had legs and had to be able to get to people in Pennsylvania and other places. And you chose this moment in the emergency to step up and find the way in all these things that you're doing. I'm so proud of you. I could just burst because it's so amazing.
You're doing it too.
Well, I think, thank you. And we're trying to, and it's that, I know, you asked how I'm doing. For me, this has just made it so that there are more opportunities for me to do the thing that I know that I'm supposed to do, which is help support, and help connect people to things like what you're doing. So that's, as long as, when I'm at work, it's great. And work is intense, as you guys know, because we're working around the clock. And then I get to be with my kiddo, and that's intense. And then you're right, I go to bed, and then it's like, oh, and then it all goes, wow.
Oh,
yeah. Because we're sane, and it would be insane to be any other way. And that's just the truth of it. But I am so proud of you guys. So where do they go? Where do they go to sign up and find the schedule and know, okay, this is when the music class is, and this is when the drum circle is?
Well, the great thing about this is that if they haven't seen any of the classes, we're starting to archive our classes. So you can actually just, anytime you want, go on and do a drum class or do a music class, even a class with Liz. So I would check our website. The schedule will be on our website under Stay Inspired. That's the kind of catchphrase that we have, Stay Inspired.
Okay.
Stay
inspired.
Inspired. I love it.
Stay in.
But go to, what's the website for the center?
It's edasnerfamilycenter.org. And
Ed Asner Family Center.org.
Yeah, and you'll find it there. Okay. Also, like us on social media. All of our stuff is promoted on social media. Our YouTube channel, which is Ed Asner Family Center on YouTube.
And for any telehealth or mental health questions, you can reach our mental health director, Chrissa, at Chrissa, CHRISA, at edasnerfamilycenter.org.
Okay. And now I want to say this before we forget too, so all those classes for your kiddos are free and you can be accessing them wherever you are in the world. And they're not charging for those things, but for everybody who is listening, obviously, they're trying to keep the lights on. So if you have some coins between your couch cushions and you're like, I would like to support what's happening here. And I would like to give, $10 for someone else, another autism parent, to be able to receive services, have it go towards that, or have it go towards these teachers, donate, folks, because if everybody, who is going to participate donated $1, it would be life-changing for what you could do at the center, would it not?
Thank you for mentioning that, because actually, I mean, like I said before, we've never been through anything like this, and I've been a fundraising for many years now, and I'm really at a loss. I mean, I really am. I'm being honest here. I think as a fundraiser, you just have to put it in the back seat, and like you said, I mean, we need to raise money because we need to keep the lights on. You're right, we do. And
our goal is to keep our specialists, employed, because these guys,
and they have to get groceries.
They're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. Well, I mean, some of them, they certainly are, but that's not what I meant.
They still have to feed themselves and their families. And that's the reality.
Our mantra is, we went into this saying, we're not going to turn off the lights during this. We're not going to lay people off. We're going to employ people through this whole thing as much as we can.
Right.
And create something out of what we have, of what we've been given here. So that's why we have the virtual classes. But it's important that, you look around and you see people are giving money to the COVID-19 fund and to feed people. And certainly that is extremely important, because we're in a spot. We're really in a spot. And people don't have the disposable income they had a month ago. So it's a difficult situation, but if you do have an extra couple bucks, please, send them to the Ed Asner Family Center, because we do need to keep the lights on.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you find that it's meaningful to you when, if you take your kiddos to a class, one of the things I was supposed to say today, because every day we have an activity for the families, and I glossed right over it. I was so excited to have you guys on. But my activity that I wanted to talk about today is making yourself a virtual schedule, a visual schedule for the day, so that your kiddos know what's happening, you know what's happening. And we have all kinds of examples on Autism Live's Pinterest page. Great. So that, examples of how you would do it for a young kid, examples how you would do it for a teenager or an adult, interactive things that show that they're done, things that don't. You could do it magnetic, you don't have to do it, whatever you want to do. But to fill in the time slots with things you want to do. And here's the Ed Asner Family Center. And you can say, okay, we're going to do an art class at 10 o'clock. And all you have to do is go there and click the button, and your kids are in the art class. And if you find that that's valuable to you, and I know that you will, asking for you to give whatever you can. And literally, if that is $1.50, if everybody did that, that would be life changing. So there you go. I know that you guys aren't asking for it, so I'm going to ask for it for you, because that's if people have it, it's a great place to give to.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And so, but there's also something else that you guys started to do that I'm really excited about and proud of you guys for. You've been talking for a while about doing your own show from the center, and now you have. Talk about the center at home.
Yes. Well, talk about forcing our hand.
Right.
Well, I mean,
it's something that we wanted, and we talked to Shannon about even before we
wanted to do this for a while.
Now we have all the time in the world to.
I think we have something to talk about now. I mean, I think
definitely.
The idea was that we wanted to start this and say, hey, we're in this, everyone's in this together. This is the great equalizer. Everyone's going through the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Everyone's struggling through this. And so how do we communicate that? How do we talk about that? And so last week we had John Elder Robeson on and Alex Plank on. And I don't know if you've been reading, if you're friends with John on Facebook or not, but
Yes.
he writes these incredible posts that are very insightful and moving. And it's just really something to read. And his anxiety is really plaguing him about this, I think, and as it is everyone.
Yeah.
And so that's something to talk about. So this Friday we're going to do a live show again on Friday, and I think it'll
what time?
Fridays. What time?
3
o'clock on Friday.
Okay, fabulous.
3 p.m.
Color me there. If it's at 3, I can be there.
Maybe you can join us.
Well, I'll have to come and go because we have other things, but at 3 o'clock I can be there. I don't have anything where I'm live at 3 o'clock. But I was saying to you, there were so many things you were doing last week that I was like, I want to come to that, but we were doing things at the same time. And I know, like we all got to do our thing, but I want to come to your stuff.
Your pal, DJ Dave, who did his party, but he had an idea that we're working on now.
Working on a new idea
that I think even better. And yes. I know James will love it.
Yep.
Well, listen, I know it was like one night here and we're trying to get moving through all this. My family is not known for the movement thing, but we're trying to like shake things up and take advantage. And I'm trying to be on the elliptical every day, but we're trying to move as a family too. So we've been putting music on and dancing with our kid and inspired, might I say, by how much fun we had at the Valentine's Day dance. And so one night we were just dancing and whatever. And I thought this would be fun to do with other people. And so I was texting you guys and going, what are you doing about this? And you said, it's funny. We were just talking about this. But then the very first one that you had was on World Autism Awareness Day. And I was preoccupied. And if it had been anybody other than Temple Grandin, I would have been there. Do you know what I'm saying? But I was preoccupied with Temple, so I did not get to dance. I did not get to shake my wild thing. And your brother, DJ Dave, is amazing as a DJ. So I can't wait to hear what you're going to do next.
Well, we'll let you know as soon as we know.
Okay, I will take that.
We're working on something,
but we are,
and I'm hoping that it comes to fruition, and we'll let you know.
We are in our Center at Home show. We are taking questions from parents, from autistic individuals, from anybody who has a question that a lot of people are struggling, and that's the main thing. Is we want people to feel like you still have a community.
Yep.
You're not alone in this. I know a lot of parents are writing to me in the middle of the night and expressing to us what they're going through. And I think, because we have the family unit that we have, it's a little unique, because each one of our kids is so different from each other. Yeah. Aviva moved in with us. So we have our millennial who's back in the house.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of dishes.
A lot of dishes.
A
lot of garbage.
A lot of
yes.
When you're home a lot, there's a lot of garbage.
Cooking, the ordering the groceries and the cooking, it's like overwhelming, right?
And 3 kids in 3 different schools with 3 different online, daily. Right now we're on spring break.
Let's talk about that.
Right, us too. Yeah, let's talk about that.
So schooling, like what's going on with this? I mean, really, it's crazy. I don't know how Jem's schooling is, but
they're on spring break too,
we're on spring break too. Yeah.
But my feeling is this: our kids aren't homeschooled.
Yeah, not mine either.
And we're in a situation where our school, Will and Eddie's schools, are not on this kind of virtual classroom thing. They're on this kind of bizarre, do this and that, schedule out. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. That's not going to work.
Right.
It's not.
You're working parents.
Yeah, it's not going to work. And we need to figure this out. So I think they're finally starting to figure that out, maybe. Mm-hmm. But wow, this caught a lot. Everyone flat-footed. And
and
it's a big problem. And from what I've heard, like 60%, like around 60%
are not doing it.
any schooling at all. And so where does that leave them? Where does that leave us for the school year?
Yeah, I gotta say, I think it's the number one question that we're getting at Autism Live. Is parents concerned about their kids getting behind, about them being expected to suddenly now be the teacher for the educational piece. And other times that school is like, well, here's the video link, set your child in front of the computer and let's hope that it all works out. And this is a child who is nonverbal and needed an aid, and where's that?
It's just
that we're just like, suddenly they don't have autism anymore, and they suddenly are gifted with the knowledge of how to interact when we're all trying to figure out how to interact in this format. So I know we're gonna have Bonnie Yates on day after tomorrow talking about this new. I don't know if you know this, that in the stimulus package there was a little thing in there that gave Betsy DeVos, our Secretary of Education, the ability to have 30 days to tell the schools what to do, and that we are in the middle of that 30 days before they tell them what to do. So it's going to get interesting.
Well,
oh wow.
Betsy DeVos, I could go on for many, many years.
Yes, I have nothing to say.
Yes, I'm being nice here. I'm
right.
Trying to be nice. But I will say this, that when all of a sudden this forced homeschooling is it's rocky, because we're parents and children have a dynamic that teachers and children don't have. So there's a dynamic that enters into it all of a sudden when a parent takes over that role. If they haven't been taking it, if they haven't been handling it before, when a parent takes over that role, you've got a dynamic that's never been there before. And I mean, I can't even imagine how some people are doing it. I really can't.
I can't either.
And
many aren't. Many have said, this is not reasonable.
It's not reasonable.
I'm not doing it.
You're bringing in such a higher level of stress into the household that's already stressed out. The kids are already, up in the air because their structure is off and their regularity is off, and then the parents are frustrated, the parents are exasperated, they're trying to help and they're frustrated, and so it's a recipe for disaster for everyone to have behaviors, the parents and the kids. And I've been saying on the show, and I've been saying to all my friends, do as best as you can and give yourself a break. And that's all you can do right now, because this is we're in an emergency situation, and nothing is going to change in 3 months of even if the kid gets behind a little bit. It's not worth ruining the day in your household.
I'm with you. There are two resources that I've been saying to parents, that if they're not liking what the school is dishing out, or if the school is dishing out nothing, that especially here in Los Angeles, PBS has taken their 4 PBS channels and devoted during the day each channel to a different age group, and putting curriculum aligned, fun, interactive stuff on their channels. So PBS Kids, which I think is amazing. And then look in your local area to see what they're offering. But the other thing, which was, years ago, Temple Grandin told me about, is khanacademy.org, KHAN. It's for your kids. It's video learning, but it's interactive. It's not what the schools are doing. It's amazing. Try it with your kids to see if they're interested in it. Many kids will be. And they have curriculum from pre-K up past 12th grade. But I say, don't fight with the school right now. If what they're doing isn't working, abandon ship. Because I'm with you, Nava. It's not worth having your kids be frustrated.
Oh.
Although I have to say, I was really proud of myself the other day.
Yes.
Because I sat down with our 11-year-old, and I was doing math with him, and I couldn't figure it out. So I went to YouTube and actually took a quick lesson, and we ended up actually getting it done.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Quick lesson. But it's the kind of soul-crushing moment in life when you start to do this math that a 7th grader does, or a 6th grader does, and you realize that you cannot do this math
Yeah. But Jeff Foxworthy would tell you he had an entire show about, are you smarter than a fifth grader? And no one ever won. So the answer is we are not smarter than a fifth grader. Hey, we've got people writing in saying things. They're saying, thank goodness for people like this who recognize that this is even more important time to keep their resources open. So thank you for that. They want to know if you guys are recommending or suggesting any adaptive aids to help kids grip drumsticks. Do you guys at the center, or do you, because I know you do a lot of music stuff. We've featured before on the show something called Easy Hold that's for pencils and spoons and things like that. But do you guys recommend anything?
Yeah, I mean,
he has a special glove.
Yeah.
That he that the Remo Alan Bruni had brought additional equipment with him. We haven't had the need for that yet. The only kind of adaptive equipment is some kids are over stimulated by the sound and they wear headphones. But we'll ask Alan that because that's a really good question.
And I think the gloves are certainly something that kind of make it more tactile and they're a little more able to kind of hold the stick and use it. So
drumming is great for our kids. So yeah,
it's interesting.
Absolutely.
We were just watching American Idol last night, and there was a story about a
boy with
fragile X. And
yes, we saw that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
See something like that on TV. We were like, oh, how great, how wonderful.
Yes, amazing. Absolutely.
Now I'm rooting for her.
And me too, because she's pretty fabulous. She's the one who has the name that's something like, we wanted her to change it. It's like Washa Masha Fasha. Something, Whack-a-Mac or Whack-a-Mole, something.
Whack-a-Mole, that's it.
Something like that. She's amazing. Everybody check out American Idol and support her. Because her brother was there and she's a good sibling. And she said, it's more about my brother than anybody else. Loved it.
And I was thinking about, because he was drumming. He was
with her.
It was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've only got like 2 minutes left. I just want to make sure. Ed Asner Family Center. It's not is it? What's the website?
The website is edasnerfamilycenter.org.
Okay. And go there, and if they click on the inspiration, stay inspired. Sorry, and they can find things.
Any mental health questions, go to Chrissa, CHRISA at edasnerfamilycenter.org. We want to help you guys with telehealth. We want to give you support, but we can't give you support unless you call in and tell us that you want to sign up and that you need help, and we're not going to turn anybody away.
Wonderful. We have a teacher who just wrote in and said that she said, I want parents to know that we love our students and are doing our best. This is all new for us. And we do know that.
Oh, absolutely. Let me just say something about that. Teachers are the heroes of the world.
Yeah.
And I have nothing but respect. And if anything, this should this should
double
highlight
how
their teachers are, because all of a sudden the parents have to be the teachers and not teachers.
Right.
So it's they're special, incredible heroes of the world. And
and they need tools so that they can do the thing that they need to do, and training, because this is a different format, but the teachers are not the problem.
They have support in the classroom.
Yes.
Support for the kids. The kids have one-on-one aids sometimes.
Yes. So that's what it's not. Yeah, we love the teachers. Absolutely. Okay, you guys, we've so enjoyed having you here, and thank you so much for the work that you guys are doing. And I can't wait to hear all the people now who find your classes and are able to do them who aren't in the Los Angeles area. They're going to be like, well, this COVID thing worked out for us. So we'll take the wins where we can take them. I want to thank everybody for being here. Want to remind you that we have a special show this week on Autism Live. We're doing 2 shows every day. So at 2:00, we are going to be back here. We're doing just a segment every day this week on Card Heroes. These are young people who are out there who are still being support. They're going to homes and being there while they're getting the instruction from school to be aides. They're doing ABA therapy. So yesterday, you guys, I just cried through the whole episode. These young people are so amazing and brave and fearless, and they love our kiddos. So you're going to want to see that. at 2 o'clock. And then tomorrow, don't forget, we have Ask Dr. Doreen. She'll be here with us live, and you can ask her questions. Until then, but be here at 2 Pacific time for that Card Heroes. I'm telling you, it's like the most inspirational thing I've done since we have been in this emergency. So be there or be square. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.